Hello, everyone. Great to video meet you all. Apologies not having this as a live webinar session, but with the time constraints of getting this new launch out, which I'm about to announce to you, this was the easiest way for me to be able to make it accessible for everyone around the world. So again, welcome. And I have a lot to get through, and I'll try to get through as fast as I can with a lot of exciting updates for everyone here. First of all, I'll start with a bit of an update on the company. I've spoken to many of you already over the past months, but just to make sure everyone is aligned, back in October, we did a restructuring, and as I put out one of my announcements to everyone there, I joined I stepped into the actual board and ownership of the company, and joined Fabian as the co-CEO and managing director of the company. At that point, Fabian and I split this role. He looks after the technical end of the business, and I look after the commercial, outward-facing side of the business. We work very closely together, and we're an exceptionally good team. And hopefully, you see that from some of the results and the release information that we give you today. So, what's happened since then? Well, it's been roughly, I guess, around 9, 10 months even since then, and a lot has been happening on our side, maybe not so visible on your side. We've been, we did a lot of reassessment, especially over the first 3 to 4 months, of where our platform is, what our focus is, how we wanted to move forward, and how we wanted to bring the product to where we want to go. Fundamentally, it's what we always wanted to do. The company is heading in that direction, but with me coming on with Fabian, we really want to sit down and really go through that a bit more strategically and make sure that we're moving in that right direction. So we made those decisions. We had our sessions together, and we really picked everything apart on the platform and on our development and how we want to do things. And then for the last 6 months, 7 months since the start of this year, we have been head down, tails up in that process in many respects. Around 10 o'clock tomorrow, Tuesday, August the 4th, we are releasing our new product, Twinsity, which is the existing product but updated, upgraded, a whole new refresh, and I'm going to be running through that with you today, and I'm sure you'll find that pretty exciting. We have updated our logo and our company, which I'll show you our new logo and branding as such. We are releasing our new website, which should give you far greater breadth of information to be able to direct people to and so forth as well. So quite a lot happening. Back to those bigger plans. This is really our starting point. We did a lot of work on our development. We went through the stats last night. So we have about 250,000 lines of code in our platform. We put 87,000 new lines of code and removed 30,000 lines of code to give you an idea of the work that's gone into it. It's quite significant for a program, for a single program as such. So, and as one release, we really went through, cleaned a lot of the stuff out, and rebuilt many areas to enable us to move forward faster. Although we have not released much over the last period as such, apart from the uploader, this is setting that stage. You will see a lot more releases coming forward now, in small releases and large releases at different types of levels. So, but this first one is the really staging point where we really had to do an awful lot of work to really get the platform how we wanted it to be, to then build on top of. It may seem a bit weird moving forward with releases coming out in certain orders, but everything's done for a purpose. Everything's done in an order, in a way that complements next stages after that there. This launch is about our product refresh and how a customer uses it. We have a lot of feedback over the years, and we really sat down and went through every single point that we could find that we received from an email or a feature request or whatever. We didn't implement everything, but we put it into an order, into a structure, and really looked at how people use the platform and how we think you should use the platform. Many of you who know me, traditionally I'm a land surveyor and a data collector, so I have an understanding of what's actually happening out there in the field as well. And with Fabian and my history as a drone manufacturer, him coming from Abotics and me coming from SenseFly and Quantum Systems, we always understood the constraints on the hardware side of that data collection as well. So now we had this opportunity to really put that together. So we really designed as best we could how that platform sits now, how you get into the platform, how you organize your projects, how you build forms. You then go into there, how you want to navigate around inside, how you want to do things, and so forth. There are some new features in there. We're introducing finally something that's been requested for a while, our observation profile builder, and I'll talk about that when we get into the platform. And there are some other small parts there, but a huge amount of cleanup and practical measures to make that process of clicking through, recording defects, using the AI, exporting a report and sharing with the customer a lot faster and smoother. We got rid of a lot of the clutter. We got removed a lot of the jumping around where it's not needed, and really just hopefully made that easier. We've tested this against several customers already, and we did our final preview last week with 6 of our biggest customers, and it was all positive from them. Now, we have stuff we still need to do, definitely. So as I said, this is that first stage rollout for everyone here. You would definitely notice a difference. It looks completely different in many respects, but in a good way. I hope you will agree. So it will definitely be important that everyone goes in, tries the new software, gets used to it, gets familiar with it. We have a launch video. You'll get the link of that tomorrow at launch time. So you'll have a launch video which shows you, it's about just under 2 minutes. It'll be on our social and everywhere, and you'll have access to it to share in that as well, how that actually looks going through a very simple process. I'm going to run through it today with you, so you'll have that as a resource, and hopefully within the next week, maximum 2 weeks, but I'm pushing for 1 week, we'll have a full walkthrough sales demo that you can actually use for sales demonstrations directly, and we'll have as a sales demonstration tool as well that people can access freely on the public if you want to push them to a live demonstration, or use yourself to train in that as well. We've updated our brochure as well. That's really exciting. I'm going to show you that in a minute. We've updated all our documents. So and added a lot of documents. Those who don't realize, we now have getting started guides. We have project and cost guides. We have a quick pricing guide, full commercial price guides, USD, Euro, depending which region you're in. A lot of information for you to get. There is also in the email that you would have received this link from, there's our brand guide, which is in there as well. So the marketing team really needs to look at this because we've changed our brand guides, changed our logo, fonts, and all that type of stuff as well. We've given you some images. We have more to come. We have given you on this email as well, you'll have your reseller access path, link, and password. For those of you that haven't received already, we have it on this email link for you. This is where everything now is data-wise for you. You'll have public links. Be aware those public links have not been updated. The link is true, but the file that's there is still the current file. That will be updated after release tomorrow or during release tomorrow. Then there's all the private links for you where you have links to the price book, the sales enablement guide, and the approved logos, fonts, the brand guide, marketing assets, all that private stuff for you for non-sharing has already been updated. So your marketing teams and everyone can jump on that and get a hold of that and get ready. In the email, we're also providing you pre-done social posts text. You may just need to tweak it or put it into your language. They are there. We're trying to enable you with much information to be able to push this out as possible on our behalf. There's even a press pack information that you can use for localized press. Let us know what you're doing with, if you're going to do with any, so we're not doubling up. But for any of your local ones, in-country ones, there's information for them that they can go and get this information as well. So that's a lot of information. The other big point I want to name now is that we are retiring the name Twinspect. So our platform, the company is now called Twinsity Technologies, which will be reflected in our logo, which I'll be showing you. And then what we also have then is the software now is just called Twinsity. Okay, so Twinspect has retired. That is now happen at launch as well. There is no pricing changes, so the price book stays the same. We still have the Prospector, we have the Pro, and we have the Enterprise at the pricing that you have on the current price book, which has been live since the start of this year. Only minor change was the Prospector demo storage went from 250 gig down to 50 gig. That's all that what people were actually requiring, so nothing big there. But again, pricing stays the same. We have, as you got to notice recently, we have retired the Express project upload. We had no one using it, like one a quarter for a while. It kind of just was a minor option for people to utilize, which it meant you could just look at a photo by itself. It's not our focus. We focus with 3D environments. That's where the bigger value is. So we looked at the statistics. No one was using it. We decided to cut that off. So that is now finished. No one can upload an Express project now, and on release, the Express option will disappear as well. If you have customers with Express projects, they were told and were warned, and they were told that to contact us if there's any issues. We've had 0 requests for that, but even after the date, if something happens, please let us know. And the data is still there. We just find a way of what we can actually do with it to help them if required. They're the main points. I will reiterate, there is an embargo on this information. We plan to start updating the platform German time, so Central European Standard Time. So that is from 10 o'clock tonight here. We'll start updating the platform access. All going well, that should be all running fairly quickly. We have several what we call production environments to roll out. We have a lot of white label customers, so they have their own environment. We'll roll out the general one first, test, make sure that's good, and then we'll roll out the other ones to those respective customers. All the white label customers have already been informed, so they're aware that this change is happening as well. And all customers were told on the maintenance announcement already. And then by tomorrow morning, the plan is to publicly announce via social posts at 9 o'clock. So we ask you to hold until after that. So say by 10 o'clock, then you can start posting. The best thing for your teams would be to check on our side, check on our social feeds and everywhere that we have already gone live, so that we lead that rollout, please, is much appreciated. Okay, with that, let's jump into looking at the new features. We'll start with our logo, then I'll show you the brochure, then I'll show you the website, some sneak peeks of both of these, and then we'll go on to the platform. And first up, here is our new logo, Twinsity Technologies. Nice, simple, and crisp, slightly new color scheme. The lines in the background this is just off one of our promotional backgrounds in the new brochure. The logo itself is standalone. This is one of our core lines, if you like. Prove nothing was missed. You'll see that in quite a few places on our website, on our brochure, and that's part of our belief, right? You know, anyone can record information, and people are doing this manually at the moment, but the real thing is, can you prove that nothing was missed? And that's really the essence behind Twinsity, that you have all the data there. You can go back and prove that nothing was missed. You can go pan around, look at everything, and see what was actually done and when it was done. So that's to start with. We have a favicon icon. You'll see that on our software page, which sits on our website, and our software pages on the tabs and in different locations. It is just the capital T and the slightly smaller S on a favicon little box. Very simple. The marketing team, you have access to all these logos. We have a word mark only, so the technologies is dropped for smaller areas, but this is our main logo. Obviously also for a white background, so the white switches to the dark gray as well. So that's number one. So let's have a quick look at the brand guides. With that there, you will have received this. This is more so for your marketing teams, of course, but it is important. So you have a full guide there telling you everything. You can go through, showing you the different logos, how they should look, what you shouldn't do. Please pass this on to your team. We have standardized on our fonts as well. So it's Inter is our main font. The details are in here. The font files are on the marketing assets area in your zone as well. All our different color schemes are there, typography and so forth. So not for the salespeople and that, of course, but for the marketing people, please read this and update accordingly. Will be appreciated. Okay, next, let's jump around. Oh, not too soon into the software. That's cheating. Okay, here we have our brochure. So this is one of the nice brochures that will go out. This will be available tomorrow. Inspect faster, find problems earlier, prove nothing was missed. Again, as we were talking, some of the catchphrases that we will actually use and taglines. So here, the concept is thousands of images, they're messy and unstructured. we can put that into a model and actually analyze that model practically here. So you'll see the kind of theme here. We're painting a picture of where we sit. So obviously we need to make sure people are aware that we don't create the 3D model. That's why we are quite clear on that here. Maybe something in the future, but for now, that's what we're focusing on here, where Twinsity starts and where that fits in that complete cycle. This is a bit of a sneak peek, obviously, as you just saw, of our new, well, you didn't see, of our new platform, but we'll jump in there in a minute. Another one of those lines, navigate the asset, not the spreadsheet. Really bringing people forward to see the benefits of working in this type of environment. A bit of an overview of what the actual features are. We're not a feature-rich brochure. This is really about a customer brochure that talks to the different people that we want to actually focus on. Three outcomes that matter to us, kind of like pillars: speed and efficiency. How easy can you use our platform? How efficient is it? Collaboration and reporting. That's the important part. We gather all this information. How can we collaborate with others and report that information? And then risk and auditability. So being able to confirm and prove nothing was missed and so forth. So they're kind of the three big pillars we're trying to build on over time as well. Okay, next page here. So then we really focus, and you'll see on our website and on our brochure here, and as much collaterals as we can. We have three core customers. We all have collectively three core customers. We put them into three categories. So service providers, predominantly drone service providers who go out and collect data for people. They will actually go and do that there. They don't normally do the AI side, but they'll collect it, upload it, and then share it with their customer. They could be contracted by an asset owner or by engineering consulting companies or a client direct, right? So we have some fairly big DSPs, but we have quite a few small ones as well, predominantly starting on that prospect to building up to pro kind of a level, and so forth. So we have a case study for them with Havoc Inspect with a link to their story. They're on our website as well. And then we have the engineering consulting firm. In this case, we have CUI, one of the largest bridge engineering firms in the world. So we try to talk to them what engineering consulting firms actually need and so forth as well. And likewise, again, for asset owner, Vel municipality is a municipality in Sweden, and they use our package to manage their roof inspections, and they're hoping to roll that out into other departments. But just to give you an idea, drone service providers, data collectors, engineering consulting firms, asset owners and managers here, your three main areas here. We get a bit of an insight to the license type. So we have, where you start, prospector, pro, and enterprise, with a few little key things about that there to get people interested. Touch on the AI detection, more coverage, greater confidence, how that actually sits into it. And again, make it very clear where we slot into the workflow you already have. So making it clear, we don't want to confuse people or oversell, being open and honest. We really are that AI analysis validation side of the project. The type of applications, we're not really fixed on one. We do a lot at the moment on infrastructure and industrial facilities and buildings, but it's quite ranged, right? And that's the beauty. We can handle any large scale asset, any industry. That's the purpose of this here. A little bit about our high level stuff. We are ISO 27001 certified, and the different things here, the access. We do full white labeling for people, and that as well. We have several customers on that there. And then the close, as you'll see here, where people can book a demo and free trial. So that's our new brochure. That'll be available to you all to start sharing from next week. Going back on that, we don't normally send physical files anymore. In your guide that you're getting today as well, in that email, it shows you the links to all these files. We recommend you share a link with people, because they go to that there, they're always getting that latest file, because when we update it, the link always works. We replace that file and they get the latest one. So it's a bit safer for in that regard, and makes your email smaller because you make a nice little link to it rather than attaching files. Of course, you can download it. The client can download them as well, but that's what we would recommend for ease moving forward. You can build template emails around that as well, so it makes it very easy to send out sales requests, pricing requests, and everything, because the price guide, the brochure, all of these have a fixed link now as well. We will look to do some translations when we can. It'll be later this year we'll start doing that there, but it's one of the next things we want to look at as well. So that's the brochure done. And here is our website. The top bar is just because it's in a staging zone at the moment, so it's not really true, but this will show everything else is actually true here at the moment. So let's go to the home page, because we're actually not on the home page here. So this is how the home page looks. You'll see inspect faster, find problems earlier, prove nothing was missed, screen grabs of the software, why Twinsity, how we work, bit of information, give me some nice graphics to work with. This is just the opening page. If anyone asks, there's options for missing a tool that'll open up an email to send to us if anyone's, I want to use, some other package, Trimble or whatever. So that goes into our list as well. And as you see, as I said earlier, we focus on the different types of companies, DSPs, engineering consulting, asset managers. And you'll see that theme throughout, and there's actually a separate page for them as well. But we have the platform page. You'll be able to look at this tomorrow once the site goes live. Gives you a bit more insights into everything, more details, better graphics for sure. And then, as I said, we have the individual solution pages, which talks about what are the problems these customers face, how do we help fix them, and then case studies linked to them as well, and guidance on what type of licenses they should be looking at. We have the pricing page. We don't talk about prices. We do show one price, which is our lowest price, starting from 50 euros per month. So just to give people a taster. We have some competitors around the world. Pretty much all of them are very expensive. The one of the other ones, we have TrendSpec in Australia. They start at 10,000. There's nothing cheaper than that. And they do a lot. They also provide services, so we don't really compete so much against them. But this gives you a bit of an idea on pricing, how the pricing is built for the customers, and that as well. The distribution page has been updated. You can go check out yourselves in there to make sure I've got your details right. We have a nice little map around the world. We can come here to Europe and then click on a dealer. So here's Germany. There you go. Gives you a logo. That you're certified. You can request a meeting with them. How this works, this opens up an email. If it's working, yep. So you can see it's coming from my personal email here to your email that you're set up as a distributor. In this case, it's Epotronics, and it's sent to them, to you, sorry. We're in copy, so we see it as well. Gives them a bit of an email that they can work from. So we have a quick way for them to come directly to you. Plus, if they come directly to us, they get logged and they'll go into your pipeline as a lead and access for you to then manage as well. Of course, they can book a demo with us directly. It does not matter if it comes with us. If it's in your country, we're going to link them to you. So that's not an issue. So we have that flexibility. The main thing is that we get these leads coming in and going accordingly. If someone goes into a country that we don't have a distributor for, there's no distributor there, it comes to us, or they can request to actually become a distributor if they are eligible, that type of stuff. We have our news page. Good to refer anyone to for any major update. You'll see our new update is already there, ready to go. We have what we call a change log of new features and other stories in there as well. The about page has been updated as well. A little bit of details on me and Fabian. We have a nice little project display here, which shows you how we've grown in our expansion over the years. So it's showing you as we hit new countries. So we have thousands and thousands of projects now all over the world. So this trying to gives you hits of roughly where new ones are coming, but mostly where we hit a new country. Okay, and that's it basically. So this is the new website, very new, nice and refreshed, and hopefully you all agree that this looks good. Okay. And now let's look at the software, which is what you all really want to see. Alrighty, so this is our home area now, quite different. It comes, obviously you normally have your address bar at the top, which is still there, just my screen grab is cutting out the address bar at the top. You come in here, it's nice and clean and nice and streamlined. What we have here is you can manage your organization here, so your customer or yourself can manage your organization, change your logo, see your start and dates of your licenses, any add-ons you have, your storage, what your workspaces are like. You can add organizational members. So we have 3 levels of access. Organization level across everything. We have as an editor, viewer, or admin. We have a workspace level. So if a client has a folder just for one of their clients, they can give their client access to every project inside that workspace. And then we have project levels. So just for a single job, you can assign access as well. So that's all tied up. A lot of that was already there. This is just structured, brought together in a more functional way and easier to work method. We have the workspace management, so you can create new workspaces or add members. Obviously, we can go manage workspace here as well, and that shows you if there's any members and so forth in there already. So that's the management area here. Then we have the drop down here. So the drop down shows you what organization you're in. Generally speaking, most people only have one, but we have some engineering companies and drone service providers who do work for an asset owner or an engineering company, and they don't own the license. So they may have several companies they work for. So those different organizations that they have access to will show up in the list here. And then they click on the organization they're in, and then what workspace they want to work in. So we have organizations and workspaces, and we can create new workspaces here if you need to add a new workspace, if you have the rights to do that in your platform. So once you pick your organization and your workspace, it shows you all the projects for that workspace. Same as the past, just a better and more functional way to see it. So you can click on this actual project now, and it brings you up this nice little form which shows you everything about that project in a far more practical way. We can have location, reports that are there, any files you want to attach, or any memberships you want to do to that specific project. And once we're happy with that, we go open project. But before we do that, if you want to create a new project, we have under projects, new project. So that's where your client will then go to create a new project. And this is the same update we already have. So much of this is the same already. So nothing major there. It's just showing you that's all there. And once you create it and it's starting to upload, that project jumps into project drafts. You'll see project drafts. So any project that's in the process of uploading will now sit inside this area until it's finished, and then it jumps back into projects. You can create a project in the project drafts or in the project screen. We've left that open to be nice and easy to do it either way. And then one more thing is the exciting part of our new release. We now have what we call observation profiles. So first of all, everyone will know that we used to call something they recorded on the plan as an annotation. So we've now changed that. We now call them observations because it just makes more sense for us in how we move forward, and we record different types of things, not just defects. It'll be some objects and other types of things in the future. So we're calling it observation profiles or observations. And in this new release, we can actually create an actual profile. So there's always a default one that everyone has. And then you can create a new one. So if I create a new one, I could say maybe we're doing a project for Shell, right? Shell inspection. So you can create, depending on your license level, this is open for pro and enterprise users. They have full access to create as many templates as they like. Prospectors, they get it on launch for a while. We will gate that at some point, but we want to give everyone a feel and a use of it at the start. However, technically speaking, on the price documentation and everything, it is for pro and enterprise. So if you have any prospectors, tell them to get using it now and build their template. That way they have it before they lose access to creating new ones. But we can create a new one here very easily, and it's very simple. We have observation classes. So maybe we're going to record corrosion as a type of class. Maybe we're going to record cracks, right? Pretty straightforward. That's the class. There's always a quick note. So no matter what template you're in, there will always be the option for a quick note where you can type a note about something here. There's always something to record. We create the class here. So here's corrosion. Under corrosion, then we can create the fields. So there's always a severity level, no matter what, and the display name. So now I can say, okay, I guess we can say type of corrosion, yeah? And then for type, we can then set the form field. So we have an option of a question, short text, long text, number, single text, multi-text, checkbox, date, and URL. So in this case, maybe type of rust it's surface, it's structural, making this stuff up, right? And so forth. So you can create the different types in there easy enough as a list box. I can do now a new field now here. Then we can say recommended actions. Yeah, and then we say, okay, that's going to be a list box again. Ignore paint over repair. Right, you get the picture. Pretty simple to keep on building this as you need. And as I said, if we create a new field here, we have quite a few different options there. Checkboxes, multi-select, all the usual things you would expect to have in there. Nice and easy. So you build that, and that is then stored as a profile. We save that profile, right, and that's there. Now we can go and edit it. We can duplicate it if we want to make a copy and change it a little bit for someone else. Some rules: if you have a project open already with an observation profile attached to it, and you've already started recording observations, you can't change the observation profile, obviously, because it's linked to what you're recording. You can't remove fields that you've done, but you can add to it. Okay, so that's the important thing to be aware. If you do remove all your observations, if you accidentally start and think, hang on, I can go delete those couple of observations you've done, it will then enable you to change it. It just checks to make sure there's nothing already there. Point in question is for existing projects. All existing projects will open as they are now with no problem. The data will show up. All their annotations that they've done at the moment, they now show up as observations. They'll show up named as they already are, but they'll be all flagged as a quick note. But the form and everything is still there. They won't be able to add a new observation profile to them because the data is already there. They would have to delete all that data and then create a new one. We are considering how we can potentially migrate them in the future, but if there's anything that's really important, please let us know and we can see what we can do to find that pathway. But at the moment, existing stays as they are, fully usable, editable, workable. They can continue them, but if they want to use the new profiles, they'll need to create a new project, of course. Cool, that's done. So let's go open a project now. Here's a process plant. Here's all the information. I'll click open in 3D, and we should now see this open in my screen. And here it goes here. So already you should be able to see that the screen is a bit cleaner. We have our details at the top here. So we have the Selenium Industrial. I can click on that and I'll go back to the workspace area. Right, so it's a very fast way, or back to the home area. So that's a nice, easy way to jump between your projects easily. We now have our observations tab on the side here with all our observations, not annotations, everything grouped. We have groups already created here in this project called corrosion, and you can see connection defects and so forth as well. I'll just drag this out a little bit. Okay, so we see everything nicely labeled. We have it's a bit more modern and fresh. We have a nice icon showing what they are, the colors they are, and that as well. We can create new groups. So what you would have called seen folder in the past, we now call them groups. So you can create a new group and say test, because I can't think of anything, and you have your new group there. You can now multi-select between these here, and I can go move them to a group, create a new group. I can drag them. I can do all types of different things here. So you have a lot more functionality on this observation control panel now to look after your data sets accordingly, turning things on and off. We have filtering by different feature observation classes and tags and everything. So that's quite neat and tidy. At the top here, we have our mode. So where you used to have AI and sections and reports or report was a generate report button. All that was here has now been moved into what we call these little modes here. So we have inspect, AI review, and report modes. And we'll expand on this in the future. We'll have, for example, the comparison mode and other ones coming out in the future as well. And then over the right, we call this I guess it's our context panel. Depending on what you select or what you're doing, this will change and information will show up in that area. And you'll see that soon as we start doing some things. We have our project settings. So in the past, to see this, you had to exit the project and view it on the project screen. Now you can actually open up and look at information while you're in here, see what profile you're on. We can add members from in here. You don't have to exit to add a member now. You can do it inside the platform and add the different types of things. The default view, if I was to change how I was looking in the background and set that as my default view, the default view is what shows up on the report and the project thumbnail. And also, while we're in the navigating area, we have this new button here, reset to default view. So if it's a very big project or you're getting lost, you can hit that button and it'll bring you back out to that central location for ease. The environment's nice and smooth. You'll notice we've got rid of the horizon and the mesh at the bottom. It makes it a lot cleaner and a lot nicer to look at. Our toolbar at the bottom for the 3D environment is quite simple. Point, line, and area functions here. We have the clipping box tool that we've always had if we want to minimize our project down. So that's still there. We have our settings, so we can change how the environment looks. We can make the model brighter. So you'll see here, if I come over here, this can be good because sometimes the model has been created and it's a bit dark from the imagery. You can actually brighten that up to make it a bit easier to look in that as well. So all that's there. We even have a left and right mouse button swap depending on how you want to use the software. The other one we have now, it's not the best example that I have here, but we have this navigation mode. So our standard navigation, as you know now, it rotates around a point ahead of us in the center of the screen, and we can rotate around. When we zoom in, it's wherever the cursor is where the roller button is zooming us to, and so forth. But we now have this free look mode. So free look rotates around you. So where you're standing and looking. What this is for primarily is we have a lot of customers doing internal inspections and inside of tunnels as well. So it makes far more sense that they pan around themselves or rotate around themselves rather than around just ahead of themselves. And what's good to know as well is the keyboard now works. So the arrow keys and the QWSD buttons now work on the keyboard. So for doing an inspection in whichever mode, I can use the forward, up, down, left, right, up and down, and back buttons as well. So I can be in a tunnel primarily, makes sense, and I can hit that right button and be panning along that tunnel. Or I can go forward and use my mouse to direct where I'm going forward to. Cool? So that's some new functionality to help different types of inspections. Alrighty, so that's the bulk of the main environment that we're looking at here. Next thing we have is actually doing the work. So we come in here, very simply, we click somewhere on the model, one click, the icon has changed a little bit. If I hover over that, there's an option to center that point on the screen. But ultimately, it shows us an initial view of the photos that link to that point. So if I click on one of them, the split screen comes up and you can see what we're looking at. Now this is important just to make life easy, right? I can hit the escape button here now, and then I can hit the escape button again, and it reverses what we've been doing. It's like a clear mode. It generally follows the way that you went in to the different menus. So that's very fast, very efficient for you to work away with. Back here to the split mode. If I was to do proper inspection now, obviously I probably want to be a bit closer. So if I zoom in here and then re-click, it'll show the photos to the same level. So it becomes very quick for me now to pan up, click, and really follow what I'm doing. You know, the model just doesn't jump around in different positions. It holds where it is. The photos come to you, which makes it quite nice. On top of that, if we find something that's interesting, I think there's something interesting up here somewhere. Let me come and have a look further up somewhere, maybe. There we go. I can click on this here, right? And it's found something here. Likewise, zooming in on the model changes the zoom on the pictures. I can also change the zoom on the picture and then switch between pictures, right? So the arrows here switch between pictures, or the arrows on my keyboard will switch between them as well if I'm in that mode. So if I click on the picture, oops, sorry, I clicked out of it, you'll be able to switch between the pictures using your arrow keys as well as the ones on screen. So it makes it really quick. I come to a point, maybe I've got not the best picture is there. I can jump between the pictures very fast and find the one that makes the most sense. Yeah, so that's really useful. And from here, we can then record our defect. So you can record it in the photo or the model. So I'll do it in the model here because that gives us our measurements. You'll notice this tool is a bit nicer looking too. It shows up very clear, it stays on top of the model. In the past, you used to have to hit finish at the top of the screen. Now you just hit the little tick button here. Shows you the details, logs the information. This is also editable, so I can quickly drag these vertices around. I can add a new one if I want to. I can delete one, right click on it, and it deletes that here. So it becomes very easy and very functional to make that actual recording. It used to kind of flicker a little bit in the past because it was really on the surface, and depending how the surface is built now, it always stays above it, so you can see it very clearly. Yeah, and with the observation profiles, by recording something, it's opened up that form in this context in this detail panel already for you. So where I can go, okay, this is corrosion, and here's the form we just built. Pick the severity, it's surface rust, it's isolated, blah, 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 and fill out what you want to fill out as you need to. And that's really one of the best things that we have released here on this round is this new observation builder. That point's logged, we can move on to the next point. Easy enough, yeah? So come up to the next point, click somewhere else here, right? And we can see here. Likewise, we can do the same thing and draw a box, circle, or polygon area inside of the photo. It doesn't give you the measurements, something we're looking at in the future, but you can still log that and do the same type of thing and say that's that here, and you can see it's dropped it into the area for you. Cool. So that's nice and easy. We can see our new things are recorded. As I said, we can drag them up and move them into the right area. I can click on them at any time to look at what we did. Nice and simple. Yeah. Likewise, you can delete these points. All this is very easy to do. Right. Also now we have the AI review mode. So we come into the AI review. We have done some tidy up in here, but we expect to do a bigger release on the AI. I talked to you earlier about small releases and big releases. This will be another very big release we're targeting later this year. A huge amount of work happening on our AI side. I'm very excited about it. We have segmentation coming. You'll be able to see on the model exactly where the rust is, on the crack line is, and some intelligence about that. We aim to have the model builder, so you can do labeling in our software and many different things. So there's going to be a fairly significant, probably one of our biggest updates on an actual feature, new feature coming out later this year. But for now, we've updated where we are and how we're working, kept it easier so we don't get craziness with lots of points and models and everything coming on the screen. We have the categories that the AI has been run on. Okay, and we have crack, graffiti, and corrosion here. So if I click on corrosion, it now shows me all the corrosion lists. There's 22 so far that I've reviewed of 204 images. So there's 204 images or detections that have been found with corrosion on there. So it's really focusing you on corrosion, and we now have the option at the bottom of the screen, sorry, I have a little recording box here, on this, to review the actual photo. So if we come through here, you can see it's drawn a bounding box around it, and very simple, we can say dismiss or accept. I can say accept, that is corrosion, all right, and then we can go, once it's done that, I'm already actually had this one logged, sorry, so that was an error by me. We click on the next one. Okay, it's found a pillar off in the water. It's actually not in our project, so it doesn't really matter. Here, it's found rust here as an example. I can go accept, right? And it gives me the option, what do I want to call it? So we call it corrosion and then add that observation. It moves over into our inspection list, already categorized, ready to go. So it's very fast and easy. And then you see the numbers will then start updating as you go. So you can really start moving through the list and showing you how much is left, and that should start dropping down each time as you go, and then that just makes life even easier and get everything done. Yeah, so that's how the AI works. Have a play with that, get familiar with that as well. It is a bit more far tidier than what we had in the past. Okay, cool, we've done that. Now I can hit escape. Let's go back to the inspect mode. All our data is there. There's our corrosion features and so forth, ready to fill out the form. On top of that, ultimately now we just want to update and create the report. So we can go report mode now. This is looking a lot tidier. We've also brought the sections into the report mode because that's what they relate to. So as you'll see, sections in this area now to make life a bit easier, a bit more structured. We can create a new section very easily. You can see I created one here. You can just click on the service you want. It updates it. You give it a name, then you'll hit the save button at the bottom. It's nice and easy. And then all our reports are shown at the top here. So any historical ones show up a bit more structured. I'll click on the, we can go create a new report. Shows you the details. This has been streamlined a lot, got rid of a lot of the stuff that's no longer required. And then you have your basic form here. Put in your date that you're doing your report on. Pick the language as you always do. Change the company logo, and then generate report. And that'll generate the report for you. Takes a few seconds depending how much data is in there, and then that'll, like in the past, populate into your list here, and then open up inside the environment automatically for you. So it shows you to you here. Not much change on the report yet. This is one of the smaller updates we do. We have a whole report builder module that we want to release. So that'll be coming in the future. But it has been tidied up already a little bit at least. So we can go in here, click on your features, look at your different types that you want to have and so forth. So look out for an even bigger launch on the report builder as well. That is a smaller launch for us, but quite a significant one, where people will be able to build multiple different templates to suit. And that basically covers the main features of the platform. The launch video runs through that very quickly. We will do an official walkthrough for you as well in the future. But I think, and I hope you agree, that has been a significant improvement and update on what you currently work with. And that concludes the session today for everyone. I hope it's been really informative for you. I'm looking forward to your feedback in the coming days. If you need to book me for a personal demonstration or run through with your team, you have the link on the email. Please book me as needed. Please follow the embargo. It's important that we release this correctly tomorrow, and please give this information to the relevant people in your team's marketing and sales. Thank you.